So welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video, we're talking about where next for the market. Going to run through some mental models here, my strategy, and also some coins that I'm looking at. Thoughts and prayers with those in Ukraine and those fleeing their homes in Kiev due to Putin's decision to invade the country, which is pretty catastrophic in general and puts everyone on tenterhooks. So the action of one man affecting millions globally, which is a pretty sad state of affairs. But let's look at some of the data here. So in this chart, I've got the low, the mid, and the high point of the range. We found ourselves in this range for about a year now, and we've come down to revisit the lows once again. When we did get a bounce off this region previously and moved to the range midpoint, I took a lot of exposure out of some altcoins and moved that into UST and put it over on Anchor Protocol. So that is part of my strategy we'll go into. We've now found ourselves back at the range lows under the circumstances in which we find ourselves now. Potential World War III breakout that people are talking about, or at least serious geopolitical tensions here. And of course, the Fed issue is still not resolved. We don't know what's going to happen in March as of yet, but all of this concoction has pushed us back down to the range lows here. So my previous plan was to start bidding this area, but because we have so many unknowns in the market right now, and like tonight, tomorrow, any further escalation could see us dive down even further and take out these lows. I'm really not prepared to bid at this point. And so my eyes are actually on the previous summer lows at around 28,300 all the way down there. And if we do enter into this zone and come to test this point, most of the altcoins are going to get super wrecked. And I think that will be the point at which we'll get some generational opportunities to enter some of our favorite projects then. So not currently bidding round here. You could say that's a bit, scared of me, but considering how volatile the market is right now and the number of unknowns, you can't really even do TA at this point. It is all news driven. So I'd rather sit out, watch from a distance, soak this all up and take this in as an experience and play out a more conservative strategy as we progress through this situation. I'm sure it will blow over at some point, but we don't know how long this stuff can last for. Mental model is to bid if we get down here into some altcoins and really continue the DCA strategy, which I'll go into with the Anchor Protocol in just a moment. If we do get a bounce out of this region, we're likely going to put in a lower high again, which will be technically bearish. And so if you do get the opportunity to sell some more altcoins at higher prices, you may want to take some more risk off the table. I think we're getting a good sense of what is to come here with stocks down. The Nasdaq absolutely blitzed today. And as we know, the markets hate uncertainty. So here are some of the scenes. Ukrainians fleeing Kiev. Again, really sad sight to see. Innocent people having to leave their homes and not knowing what they're going to come back towards. Imagine just having to pack up all your belongings and just leave fleeing in a car. It's pretty sad stuff here. So let's move on to some altcoin news. Prices since all-time highs. May not be the prettiest chart you've seen, but this shows you the decrease that these altcoins have had since all-time highs. And this is the top 100 cryptos here, and a 75% pullback seen by the majority, and not a lot of quote-unquote winners in the market. Bitcoin coming in position fourth here. So if you would position yourselves in Bitcoin in a downtrend, that is typically the best thing to do. Each time Bitcoin takes a dump, the altcoins lose even more Satoshi-based value, and so they perform a lot less well than BTC, which is what this chart shows you exactly. The only ones that have actually outperformed Bitcoin as of late is Luna, KuCoin shares, the Leo token, and Osmosis. So congrats if you're in any of those. You've outperformed BTC, which is the hallmark for the industry right now. But this just shows you people are scared. They're fleeing from assets, potentially moving into cash. The USDT dominance is up to over 5% and has been surging over the last couple of days. Another indicator of a flight to safety is gold, and Paxos Gold here, the crypto version of gold, tracks the price exactly. Well, this shows you exactly how the market participants are feeling. This is a flight to safety, people moving out of risk assets and buying up gold. So Peter Schiff season is in full effect here. You can see over the last 24 hours, if I zoom in, there has been a little bit of a sell-off here, but I expect this trend to continue upwards once again very shortly. And this just to highlight that Pax Gold is a cryptocurrency, so it will be easy to convert some of your crypto holdings into PaxG here if you so wish to do so. It does trade on quite a lot of markets and has good liquidity. Binance, Kraken, FTX, Crypto.com exchange as well. And this will lock you into the gold price. So that may be something that is worth thinking about if gold continues its bullish momentum upwards whilst the crypto markets sell off. That seems to be what is occurring. On top of this, you can actually get a yield on this crypto gold. So PaxG is available on the Celsius app, and you can get 5.5% APY on it over at Celsius. So again, food for thought. I'll leave a link down to Celsius down below. You can also get a sign up bonus if you're a new customer. So one of the few strong performance here is the Luna token from Terra, back up to around 58 bucks. A lot of good news as of late, and it is just one of the strongest coins there is out there. It has a very key narrative with its stablecoin UST. Can you imagine the number of people around the globe who want to own a US dollar bank account, especially as their fiat currencies get inflated away at a worse rate than the US dollar? The US dollar strength is just going up and up and up, and this means a weakening of other fiat currencies. So this is a strong driver behind the Luna price point. If we just check over here as well, UST has been listed on Bittrex today. So a lot of people were naysayers around UST saying, look, the SEC are after it, they're going to take it out. Algorithmic stablecoins in general have a bad rap. Well, Bittrex is actually an American exchange. So this isn't the first American exchange. Kraken listed UST as a base pair just last week as well. So I think this gives you a heads up as to how well accepted UST is in the States. On top of that, we had Redacted Part 3 released. So Terra Luna jumps 15% as UST stablecoin gets $1 billion Bitcoin reserve. So essentially this is good for peg protection of UST. You have to protect the peg at any cost. With an algorithmic stablecoin, if it fails to hold peg, it loses all credibility. So you can't have these bank run kind of situations occurring. So Luna here has managed to raise $1 billion through the Luna Foundation Guard. And this is through some high profile VC funds here. So led by Jump Crypto, the ones who just backed up the wormhole exploit for $300 million, and also 3 Arrows Capital, the guys everyone loves to hate. So these guys, through private token sales, bought $1 billion worth of Luna, and the Foundation Guard then used those funds to buy up Bitcoin as a reserve asset for the UST peg. So there is some collateral now backing it, and over time they will add other forms of collateral to back up UST. But this shows you that these guys are clearly bullish on the ecosystem to back it with such an amount of money. $1 billion is no chump change, no matter who you are. And I think this has instilled some more confidence in this ecosystem, and thus the price point has been going up nicely whilst other things have been dumping down more considerably. I've seen some reports, people suggesting they bought at $51, but that is false. They would have been given a discount to buy these tokens, and I've seen the discount was around 30 to 40% below market value, but they are locked in to a vesting period over 4 years, but very good for the Terra eco. Here we have Anchor Protocol. So this is part of my strategy right now. I've got quite a lot of stables on here, generating a nice passive yield. So whilst there's so much uncertainty in the market, I don't want to be consistently just deploying new fiat funds into the market, because things could go quite a bit lower still. Who knows what's going to happen? So essentially, the yield from this I'm going to utilize to DCA into the market and not actually touch my principal amount right now, unless we get a cascading like liquidation event or some mega nuke or sell-off in the market. At that point, I would be looking to buy in, as those will be huge opportunities going forward. But at this point, we haven't had that mega nuke or a cascading liquidation event. And I do want to be prepared for that with cash ready to deploy. So in the meantime, just using the interest accrued on Anchor to actually DCA in seems a smart method in my opinion, and 20% APY on stablecoins, paid in stablecoins, is just too good to turn down here. So that's what I'm going to be doing, a nice monthly income from the stables on here and deploying that into the market continually to buy up some cheap ass altcoins. So what is down bad but potentially has some big upside? Well, being in the Terra ecosystem already, it's super simple to go ahead and start buying up Terra-based altcoins. ASTROPORT, the token of the native DEX, ASTROPORT itself, is down quite bad. And of course, it has a good opportunity here to recover. So let's dive into why. So at $86 million market cap, this one is pretty low in comparison to other DEXs. and it is going to be a cross-chain DEX. And as we can see here, it looks like it's already bottomed. So even with the big dump yesterday in BTC, it only took Astro from 77 bucks down to around 69, was it? Or 71. So this was nowhere near the previous low, 68, and then the all-time low of 66 cents. So you would expect when there's a big sell-off like this, it could maybe go and test the previous all-time lows. It really didn't. So I think there's considerable bid in the market, as you can see from the volume down here as well. So Ansem posted this the other day. When does stuff like this become a good buy? ASTROPORT token just sold off consistently. And then Westy, one of the OGs in the Luna ecosystem, not that much lower to be honest. The introduction of the Astral Assembly and VE tokenomics and cross-chain swaps will make it a beast. So it's going to be cross-chain. We know it plugs into the Cosmos SDK, which means interoperability. And of course, VE tokenomics, that is quoting the curve-based token economics. And these have proven to be very effective for Curve and have been copied by other protocols as a result. So one of the best tokenomics designs out there. And this is coming pending some further audits that need to be complete. So this guy puts down shh and then accumulate faster, sir. So I've been in the Discord in ASTROPORT trying to find out some more information on that. If I can get a paper or something for these new VE tokenomics and how they're going to implement them, I will bring that to the channel. But I do think ASTROPORT will be a good one to accumulate slowly for the long run and get a share of DEX trading fees. Then we have ASTAR, covered this during the week, and it is one of the layer 1 smart contract platforms I want to accumulate over this bear trend. Due to the fact I think the market cap here, $182 million, will be a lot higher in the future. Think about Oasis, rose over $1 billion. Near Protocol at an all-time high went up to like $10 billion. Why would ASTAR not do similarly? A $10 billion market cap puts this at almost a 50x from this price point, which is crazy, crazy stuff. And I think just in general, a smart contract platform this cheap is a bit of a gift, and it's just due to the fact it's launched at the worst possible time. We've been in a down-only market since its inception here, and it hasn't had a chance to really get a good first run up. So again, this will be one I'm trying to allocate to. And a question I had the other day was about ASTAR, the actual tokens received from the lock drop, which are locked in. So they are currently like vested. Could you use them for a staking event? And the answer was yes. So you can use your locked ASTAR and stake them on the staking festival. This is the ASTAR portal. Connect your wallet up, go to the dApp staking tab, and then select one of the various dApps on there, and you can get an APR for those staked and locked tokens. Then here we have the Glimmer token, MOONBEAM. Again, one I want to continue accumulating. I think for a layer 1 smart contract platform, a market cap sub $1 billion really is chump change, and I think it will continue to grow as we progress over time. And if we just look at the chart, once again, it's launched in the worst possible time, has been down only, and had that huge token unlock, which caused the price to continue going down. So as we're seeing weakness across all markets right now and the potential for further downside, I think this will go to very juicy prices. I've got some stink bids already set up at around the low $1 region, and I think we're going to get close to those in the coming days and weeks if something bad further happens. So this is the token release schedule here. So we just went through this bit here, this huge slope upwards with a huge release, but there will be continual emissions over this first year, and they get quite considerable towards the end of the year with another spike up here as the founders and some of the strategic investors get some tokens on hand. So this one isn't going to be a smooth ride, and this is why I want to implement a DCA strategy with this one, as I think over this first 12 months we're going to get a lot of tokens entering the space. There's going to be continual sell pressure. So in a bearish market trend, it's going to be hard for the market to absorb that, and so I think there will be a good opportunity to accumulate a load of these tokens. By the time we get to the second year, we've got around 65% tokens in circulation at that point, less sell pressure. We'll be going into the next halving for Bitcoin as well. And so I think this one really sets itself up for that 4-year cycle if we're going into the kind of 4-year cycles we've seen as of the past. So accumulating these types of tokens for the long run at cheap prices, I think is a bit of a no-brainer, especially if it's down to like $1. For this to get to $10-20 billion in market cap valuation, you know, you're going to put a huge number of X's on this and make some serious gains next time round for a bull run. Then if you're looking for a short in the market, Avalanche is a key contender here, sitting at a price point of $72. I think this one is a good option to make a short trade. So AVAX has a token unlock for round A2 investors. So this is the final token unlock for this cryptocurrency. Comes on the 4th of March, which is a week tomorrow. And in total, 15% of the A2 vested tokens get released on this date. So 60 million tokens were sold for the A2 option here. And each 3 months, these guys get a token release, this final one being a week tomorrow. They bought in at just 50 cents. So imagine having 50-cent token now worth $72 and you're in pretty terrible market conditions. You are definitely selling that and securing the bag at this point. 15% of 60 million tokens is 9 million AVAX, currently priced at around 650 million US dollars. So that is a lot for the market to absorb in such times. And so I think this one is a good shorting opportunity over the next week. Again, not financial advice, do your own homework, but seems pretty obvious that a big token unlock like that in down only conditions is only going to further exacerbate the pain for investors here. And so this could easily breach those lows that we saw of around $55 here that we hit late January. So as financial markets around the world continue to absorb the impact of Russia invading Ukraine here, we are on tenterhooks waiting to see what happens next for price action. Everything looks pretty bearish at this moment in time. Do remember, things can turn around pretty quickly with a few agreements put in place and potentially the Fed easing off their rate hike talk and even saying, okay, we're going to have to continue QE. I'm sure this major pantomime will continue further and throw out more and more surprises along the way. So be prepared for everything. I've laid out my kind of strategy as of right now and what I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one and I will catch you again tomorrow. Goodbye.